Hello, we've been expecting you. I am C-3PO, your protocol escort droid for the Disneyland Star Tours news kit, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2. Let me assure you, our journey through Disneyland's newest adventure is designed to be a most enjoyable one, a pleasant change from my past experiences. I am here at the Star Tours pre-boarding area, next to one of the Star Speeders which has just returned from an eventful voyage. It does seem to have been rather battered, but don't worry, the craft you'll be travelling in will be first-rate, with the possible exception of your pilot, Rex. I'm afraid he's a little fresh off the assembly line, if you know what I mean, but he'll improve, I hope. Yes, R2, don't be so impatient. I was coming to you next. Your flight to the moon of Endor will be navigated by R2-D2, who is really quite efficient when he concentrates. But enough of that. I do believe it's time to begin. R2, if you would kindly display the rundown of segments, it would be greatly appreciated.
If you've ever dreamed of taking off into space, traveling at light speed, and chasing intergalactic bad guys, then Star Tours, the newest Tomorrowland attraction at Disneyland in California, is for you. Some say it's the ultimate thrill experience, and others, well, they're a bit more descriptive.
I loved it. It was the most exciting thing I have ever been on. It was really like being there.
It was just the best. It was so good.
I thought that it was the best attraction in Disneyland.
Why?
Because it's so fast and it looks like you're really moving. My mom said she knows what it's like because she always rides with my dad.
Star Tours is a joint venture between the Walt Disney Company and George Lucas.
So they've given me the opportunity to include my characters into that part of the park and try to come up with some new ideas, which is real exciting. It's something, it's a little offbeat from what I normally do, but it's a real exciting creative challenge.
Star Tours is based on Lucas's Star Wars films, but at Disneyland, the Star Tours company offers excursions to the moon of Endor. And the supervising droid is this familiar Star Wars character, C-3PO.
With modesty, I don't think they could have chosen a better droid for the job. And of course, I'll be working alongside R2-D2 once more, and while he can sometimes be a little irritating, I must admit we make a splendid team.
It is now, it's fine everybody the chair is just thinking about it. I'd rather be sent to the spice mines of Keswick. Droid on transport 22. Get back to work. Now see what you've done. We'll lose our jobs for sure. There is something rather than stuff out, at least I made my job. Yes.
Star Tours announces another of our exciting action-adventure tours. Join us on the trip to Catalina. Start your day with a trip to the Star Tours.
If this console is the best, then aren't we already repairing it? What do you mean you have to do more work? You ungrateful little twit. I've just about had enough of you. What? You wouldn't even have this job if you weren't for me?
Once meet every few minutes, so don't delay. Visit Endor today.
I really didn't understand why the announcement would be on the Endor tour. Yes, I know exactly what I'm doing, and you worry about me.
Transport 22, I'm getting a critical reading on your laser cannon.
First today. All our Star Speeders are piloted by the world's most reliable RX droid, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the sights. Whenever your plans call for intergalactic travel, call on the best Star Tours.
RX-24. Please report immediately to Hello.
How are you? I'm C-299. This is Green Labor Droid. See, my job is to pick our pilots and navigators for Star Tours. It's a really, really neat job. I mean, I like it. You get to meet a lot of nice droids. Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir. Hey, it's not my fault. These people keep asking me quick questions.
Excuses. I told you 1,000 times.
Never boxes a humanoid.
It always leads to trouble.
Star Tours Indoor Express. All passengers be on board.
Hi there! I see they're loading our Navigator R2-D2, and then we'll be on our way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Star Tours 45, elevator platform has been activated. Commence final pre-launch.
Roger, Control. All status go. Oh, wrong way! Brakes! Brakes! Where are the brakes? I meant to do that. A little shortcut. R2, light speed to Endor!
Grid 24, I'm going in. Cover me.
I meant to do that. A little shortcut. R2, light speed to Endor! R2, we passed the Endor moon! Now what's the matter? Oh no! Kennitt! Uh-oh, wrong way! Brakes! Brakes! Where are the brakes? I meant to do that. A little shortcut. R2, light speed to Endor!
Grid 24, I'm going in. Cover me.
Do that. A little shortcut. R2, light speed to Endor! R2, we passed the Endor moon! Now what's the matter? Oh no! Kennitt! Ladies and gentlemen, there may be some turbulence up ahead. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened. Hey, sorry folks. Sure to do better next time. It was my first flight, and I'm still getting used to my programming. Hey! Hey!
Well, for a long time I've been interested in trying to get involved with the Disneyland theme park. And for years I'd discussed it with the management at Disney, and eventually it came about that they accepted my offer to be involved, and that we would sort of combine ideas. I wanted to have an involvement in Tomorrowland. I thought that was a portion of the park that had always been a little less than what it could have been. And so they've given me the opportunity to include my characters into that part of the park and try to come up with some new ideas, which is real exciting. It's something, it's a little offbeat from what I normally do, but it's a real exciting creative challenge. One of the basic ideas behind this is that it's reprogrammable. It relies a lot on software rather than hardware, so that the ride can be changed rather swiftly, relative to the way normal rail rides, hardware rides are, changed. And I think this will give us a big advantage in being able to upgrade the ride after, a certain period of time to, improve it or change it or, make it into something else. Oh yeah, I'm working on 4 or 5 other projects that will be coming out. Some of them Indiana Jones rides, some others intergalactic adventures.
This next segment will give you all the information you need concerning Star Tours. You see, it's a conversation with me. Yes, R2, what is it? No, there aren't any interviews with navigator droids, so get back to work. Well, of course, I could give you all sorts of information, but I find that humans far too often pay no heed to my advice. They have this strange desire to find things out for themselves. I will say, however, that while your flight is intended to take you on a leisurely cruise to the moon of Endor, your pilot, Rex, is a little, well, fresh off the assembly line. Suffice it to say, he doesn't possess the expertise that R2 and I have. Therefore, it is possible you may encounter some of the difficulties we had on our flight, although, of course, I was never actually frightened. And I'm sure humans will find it great fun. Well, I have endured rather odd environments in the past, but I must say I find Disneyland most suitable for one of my sensibilities, and I look forward to continuing my services here for many years. Of course, I have already a good deal of experience in providing vital assistance to humans, so with all due modesty, I don't think they could have chosen a better droid for the job. And of course, I'll be working alongside R2-D2 once more, and while he can sometimes be a little irritating, I must admit we make a splendid team. Hello, I know you're going to ask me all about Star Tours, and there's so much to say. Well, first, you must make your way to the spaceport, where there's lots of exciting activity. I myself am usually there, supervising R2 on maintenance. He is also the navigator of your craft. Then, after passing the droid repair shop, you enter the departure area, where you will board your star speeder, destination Endor. And don't forget to fasten your safety belt. I've met the pilot, Rex. Ooh. But look, the best thing is for you to come to Disneyland and see for yourself. Now, please excuse me, I do have to go. I left R2 by himself, and you know what that could lead to. So I must say goodbye. Goodbye. You would think that with all my expertise, I might have attained more airtime. Oh well. Next is an interview with Warren Franklin of Industrial Light and Magic, who turned fantasy into reality. ILM has joined forces with Disneyland to bring you Star Tours.
Star Tours gave us an opportunity to do a totally different kind of project, which was great, and everybody was very enthusiastic, at a chance to do a non-stop 4-minute effects film, basically, with no actors, nobody changing things all the time, and it was really, I think, something that got a lot of enthusiasm from the crew here, and they've worked on a lot of big films, so it was quite amazing the extent of which people became involved with a Star Tours film. Well, I think we've spent almost a year and a half working on this particular film, and it's since it is all special effects, 4.5 minutes of it, it's pretty much equivalent of doing a major project like a Star Trek film or a Raiders of the Lost Ark or Star Wars even.
Another member of ILM is Dennis Muren, an Academy Award-winning visual effects director.
I guess I was sort of the effects supervisor, co-director of the work here. We were really working underneath George, and with input, of course, from the Disney Imagineers, Tony Baxter and Tom Fitzgerald on it. And it was sort of figuring out how we were going to make this the film that is projected for the Star Tours ride. And essentially what the ride is supposed to be is you're with 40 other people sitting in a sort of a little spaceship that's flying off to Endor, the planet Endor, and you're looking out a front window. And so what you're seeing out the front window is all a movie film, but it's not supposed to look like it. And because it's about a 3.5 or 4 minute space trip, we had to shoot a film that was 3.5 or 4 minutes long without any cuts in it, which was a very difficult thing for us to do, and it was a lot of figuring out how we could come up with 3.5 or 4 minutes of film without a cut. Yeah, I get wrapped up in it. It brings back first the excitement of being in Disneyland just ups you, and so you're ready for something. And then when you go in there, you're sort of like up also, because it's something that you quite haven't seen at Disneyland before. And then when you get into the Star Wars type of stuff, it brings back all the memories from those films. So it really puts you in in a lot of different worlds in a short time, and it really all works. We're real happy with it.
Ah, welcome back. You know, every droid has a programmer who is dear to his memory bank. Mine is our next guest, Dave Hyten, a Disneyland computer programmer.
Well, the footage that Anthony Daniels did for me was an extreme help. First of all, this is a character that everyone knows, and everyone already knows what he looks like, how he acts, how he moves. So it's very important that I capture that same believability. And the best way to do it was get the help from Anthony Daniels. And with his help in my animation, we brought C-3PO to life again. Well, C-3PO is actually probably the longest running animated figure we've ever done, or is. Compared to a pirate, which is about 90 feet of animation, or a Mr. Lincoln, which is 400 feet, C-3PO is actually 900 feet of animation, with 22 moves and all inside of them.
The next interview is with another Disney mastermind, Tony Baxter. He is in charge of designing Disneyland shows.
Well, obviously, the first thing that we wanted to do with George was bring about this marriage of Disneyland with the marriage of his product. And Star Tours evolved from the first presentation that we gave to George of a possible ride, and it was a little bit more complicated. You could go every which way and choose your direction. And George said, well, that's great, but what can we do immediately? What can we do to get something going right now? And so we looked around and we found this fantastic device that was in work in the Air Force and in the government to simulate excursions into space, and we thought it was a natural. Here we have the space of fantasy that George had created and combined it with real-world technology that was ready to go, and this will be the first time the general public has actually got to experience something like this, so we're real excited about it. Oh, absolutely. Anything this big you can't do all at once. So we wanted to get going as quickly as we could, as I mentioned. So Captain EO started us off on the right foot. Star Tours is going to continue it, and within the next few years I think you'll see an entirely new look here at Disneyland in Tomorrowland.
And now our final segment on the Star Tours News Kit, a chat with Tom Fitzgerald, the Star Tours show designer himself.
Well, Star Tours is really a continuation of the Star Wars saga, and the time frame is just after Return of the Jedi, so that the galaxy is now safe enough that tour companies have begun to open up shop throughout the universe, and Star Tours is one of those companies. And when you enter the attraction, you go into what we call the maintenance hangar, and here you're going to find your old friends R2-D2 and 3PO, who now have new jobs, new masters, and they're working for Star Tours, R2 is in what we call the Star Speeder 3000, which is a full-size transport that will take you on your journey, and he's doing some welding, and 3PO is doing the ever-popular backseat driving, telling R2 exactly why he's doing everything wrong and getting themselves in all sorts of mix-ups and so forth. You'll also, in this area, see some travel logs from Star Tours saying, you know, coming up service to Hoth and Dagobah and Tatooine, but saying that now they have nonstop service to Endor, and that's where we're going today. But before we get there, we pass through what's called the Droidnostic Center. And here, Star Tours is so proud of the care and precision with which their pilots are assembled that instead of hiding it off back, where we usually have maintenance operations, they put it on display. And they have what we call our G2 droids, who are repairing navigators and getting them ready for your flight. But unfortunately, the G2 droids are kind of goof-offs, and the little one, the laborer droid who's welding, or supposed to be welding, gets very distracted by the guests and starts asking them how to fix the droids and where they're going and hasn't he seen them before. And the other droid is sort of monitoring the activities of the room. From there, we enter the loading concourse, and you're sent to one of 4 gates to board the Star Speeder, and then you're off on your adventure with your rookie pilot, Rex. Well, when you board the Star Speeder, it will have a lot of the sensations of, recall a lot of the sensations of boarding a jetliner, except now you're boarding a space liner. And once you have fastened your seatbelts and stowed your luggage away and taken care of all that business, you're off on your adventure, and you meet your pilot, RX-24, Rex for short. And this may be your first flight, but it also happens to be Rex's first flight. And that's part of the fun of the journey, is that you and Rex may never quite make it to Endor, but you're going to have a wonderful, wild adventure in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, that concludes our news kit on Disneyland's newest form of space travel, Star Tours. I found it most informative. I'm sure you did too. But nothing can match the thrill of actually taking one of our flights. So Artu and I hope to see you here at Disneyland very soon. Until then, goodbye, and may the Force be with you.